Welcome ladies and gentlemen back to another Fortnite news video. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about patch 6.21, and if you guys are interested in other videos surrounding this patch like the elite skins and possible other changes happen to the map, you guys are more than welcome to check that out. But for starters, we're going to get started with the patch notes, and this is first starting with Playgrounds. So they did some bug fixing where they changed the name of some Port-A-Challenge grenades, that way they were easier to understand. They also made it more obvious where to throw these grenades, as it wasn't quite obvious as before, and sometimes it would just screw things up. But that's it for that. We also have new weapons/items to the game, and that is with balloons being added. They're an epic rarity and they come in a stack of 20. Now you can hold 6 of those things at a time, and then to inflate the balloon you use your primary weapon of fire, and then as your secondary fire, that is what lets go the balloons. They can be found in floor loot, supply drops, chests, supply llamas, and vending machines. Now don't float too high, as you may have the ability to not last as long up there, and you might die from that. So that is just a note. They've also made changes to the grappler itself too. So when you're grappling as a vehicle passenger, the velocity of your vehicles factor into the grapple force. So if you're if the person is driving in a different direction, you're trying to grapple in the opposite direction, that is going now to have a factor in how strong the grapple is, and maybe it might pull the car depending on how fast the car is going now. And this only occurs in certain situations, so you know, it just depends on how fast the car is going and what force your grappler has at that current moment in time. And that's basically it for that. We also have a lot of items being vaulted right now. The Semi-Auto Sniper was vaulted, but then again, that's a weapon that a lot of people typically don't use currently. We do have 2 other snipers for the use, and then the hunting rifle too. We also have the Guided Missile being vaulted. That weapon has a lot of bugs as of lately, and then there's just a lot of explosives happening, and given with one of the big changes around explosives, it makes sense now. We also have Dual Pistols being vaulted too, which is kind of a surprise given that they're not really a buggy weapon. They're not really too crazy, but in the right hands they can be. But they so all these items will be in Playgrounds mode still too. We also have 25% of explosive damage now being able to penetrate through the walls / structures and environment. So if you're sitting in a 1x1 and somebody shoots an RPG at you, now 25% of that explosive damage is able to get into you and now deal damage to you. I know somebody on Reddit was complaining about how somebody just has to use a quad launcher and they can shoot 4 of those things and deal 90 damage before the person even has a chance to fight back. Don't know, maybe the change might be good, maybe the change won't be. We'll be able to tell soon, and that also depends on balloons being good too, because I mean right now we have the redeploy feature, so it's just like, what's the point? But if you guys don't know, Epic is going to be keeping the redeploy feature in the game based off our responses. They're like, the responses are good enough to where they're just going to keep churning it out and keep improving upon it. So they made a lot of changes to it too, to where they're going to be focusing on sounds for it to make it where it's easier to understand if a glider is too overbearing in its sound, and just make that better in itself too. We also have a lot of changes in regard to gameplay, where they're making grass updates smoother, that way the animation doesn't look as abrupt when you're loading it in. They also added some more support for Nintendo Switch Pro controllers and newer versions of PS4 and Xbox One controllers on Mac. They've also made changes to audio files, so a lot of people complained about zombies just being way too loud, and now they're reducing the volume of the cube monsters and dynamic spawners, because before, if you were in one of those areas and you had like hundreds of those things on you, you weren't ever going to be able to tell if there was a player really close to you. Like, you would have to be like try hard listening. So they're changing that. They've also made the Fiend Hunter crossbow fire sounds more intensified or higher pitched. And now it's easier to hair gliders while shooting or harvesting. It's just not as difficult anymore or overbearing. And then they fixed some bugs with the replay system and more with audio and mobile devices. And that's basically it. So most of it just has to deal with vaulting of 3 weapons, and then the redeploy feature staying in, and new balloons being added. And then yeah, that's really it. I don't know, you guys tell me what you guys think of everything. I'm not really fascinated by this update. I've seen some of the gameplay for the balloons. It doesn't look like it serves much of a point. I'm not really a fan of the redeploy feature. I kind of need a break. Redeploy feature and balloons being together doesn't really make sense. Grappler change doesn't really make a big difference, I think. And then the whole vaulting of the weapons, I don't think makes a notable enough change to where I'm just like, oh, cool. But the big game-breaking change is the 25% of explosive damage now being able to penetrate through the wall. Now, I like to use the RPG, but now I might use the grenade launcher or quad launcher now because of that fact, or I'm just going to be raging more possibly too. So yeah, comment down below what you guys think of everything. I'm gonna hear you guys' opinion. Don't forget to check out the other patch 6.21 videos. And yeah, that's basically it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment down below what you guys think of everything. Hit that sub button on your way out. That way you guys can stay up to date with me. And yeah, bye bye.